here's Christian with St. Augustine TV. You know, mobility is a hot topic in St. Augustine right now. But this usually means cars, parking garages, and of course, traffic. St. Augustine has become synonymous with crowded roads, busy parking lots, and the challenge of getting around a town not designed for cars. However, more than a century ago, St. Augustine embraced a transportation revolution that was sweeping the nation. And it happened right in the heart of downtown. St. Augustine used to have a bicycling academy, and it was all the rage.
It was the 1890s. The telephone was a novelty. Most Americans had never seen an automobile. The Wright brothers had not yet flown an airplane, but a new invention was capturing the imagination of the country: the bicycle. Today we think of bicycles as simple machines, but in the late 19th century, they were cutting-edge technology. They offered something revolutionary: personal mobility. For the first time, ordinary people could travel farther, faster, more independently than ever before. The bicycle craze spread across America, eventually arriving in St. Augustine. At the same time, industrialist Henry Flagler was transforming St. Augustine into one of the nation's premier winter destinations. Visitors arrived from New York, Boston, Philly, and other northern cities seeking sunshine and luxury. Flagler's grand hotels became symbols of a new age. Among them was the magnificent Alcazar Hotel. Today, we know it as the Lightner Museum. During the Gilded Age, it was one of the most luxurious resorts in America. And like any luxury resort, it offered guests the latest attractions. One of those attractions was bicycling. Outside the Alcazar Hotel, visitors gathered for what was known as the Bicycle Academy. People traveled hundreds of miles to spend their winter vacation in St. Augustine, and one of the activities they chose was learning how to ride and exploring the area by bicycle. Today, most of us learned to ride bikes as kids, but in the 1890s, the modern bicycle was new. It was a whole new method of transportation. Even adults needed formal instruction. The Bicycle Academy offered lessons and the opportunity to participate in one of the most exciting trends of the era. What seems ordinary to us today was once a cutting-edge experience.
Imagine downtown St. Augustine back then. No parking garages, no endless rows of automobiles. The streets were filled with pedestrians, horse-drawn carriages, and an increasing number of cyclists. The city moved at a slower pace, a more human pace. The bicycle was perfectly suited for a compact city like St. Augustine, and still is.
Visitors could explore neighborhoods, parks, and historic sites while enjoying Florida's winter weather. The bicycle was a terrific complement to the city. 10 miles per hour is quick enough to get places, but slow enough to experience everything in between. But you know the story. Over the next century, automobiles would transform America. Roads widened, parking lots expanded everywhere. Communities were increasingly designed around cars. The Bicycle Academy faded into history. Most residents today have no idea it ever existed. Yet bicycling is a part of the city's story. More than 130 years ago, visitors were already discovering St. Augustine from the seat of a bicycle. That history raises an interesting question. What if St. Augustine rediscovered some of that spirit? Not by replacing cars, not by forcing anyone to change how they travel, but by simply encouraging another option. Which brings us to a new idea.
St. Augustine Bike Bennies is a grassroots effort to encourage people to explore and get around the city by bicycle. The idea is simple. Participating businesses offer discounts to customers who arrive by bike. No government program, no taxpayer funding, no bureaucracy. Just local businesses supporting a healthier, more enjoyable way to experience the city, while reducing congestion and nudging the culture. For riding your bike, you get a discount for lunch, a purchase, or that morning cup of coffee. It's a discount for locals and adventurous visitors. If government won't incentivize cycling, local businesses can. The Bicycle Academy wasn't created by a government program either. It emerged because local entrepreneurs recognized an opportunity and embraced a new idea.
More than a century later, perhaps it is time to write the next chapter in St. Augustine's bicycle story. Biking remains the most efficient form of human transportation ever invented. If you're a local business interested in joining Bike Bennies, leave a comment below or contact St. Augustine TV.
Who knows? Maybe one day, people will look back and say St. Augustine's bicycle revival began the same way it did in the 1890s, with a community willing to try something new.
The early adoption and encouraging of bicycling is another interesting piece of St. Augustine's past. And sometimes, the path forward can be found by looking back. If you are a local business and would like to participate in St. Augustine Bike Bennies, check out bikebennies.com.
Hey, thanks for watching. For more local St. Augustine content, don't forget to like and subscribe.